Hello, it's Pip here from queenpipcards.com. Thank you so much for joining me today on this video. Today we're looking at a no bird ballad card, which basically means that I've used stuff from the Bird Ballad suite, but I haven't used any of the birds. So here is the Free as a Bird stamp set, and you can see that there's lots of birds on it, but I've decided to use these other little pieces, the flowers and the leaves, etc., to make a card that goes with the papers that's in Bird Ballad, the actual Bird Ballad papers themselves. So we're using this one, which we're using this one with the small flowers on the paper of all the different colours, and I thought I would pick out and accentuate the pool party and the Calypso Coral, that's the word I'm looking for, Calypso Coral ones. And I also discovered that when they said that the Bird Ballad suite was designed to coordinate with the Paper Pumpkin, so the Hugs from Shelley kit, which is the kit that looks like this, and when I recorded this it was still available, so check and see in the links below if you can get that. It's a brilliant little kit. You get this full stamp set, which if I put a piece of cardstock underneath you can see that you get a thank you, you get, which way around am I looking at it? Yes, that's right, thank you, dear friend, you get and, you get hugs, you get love, you get, what's that one? For you, grateful and hello. Plus you get like a feather and a splodge and two birds, and you also get this little flower piece, and this little flower piece is indeed this little flower piece. So it coordinates exactly with this flower paper. So I thought, oh, that's great, I can use that, I can bring that out. But then what do I want to put here? And the obvious thing would be to put a bird, but I decided no, I wanted to work with the flowers. And you can see that these are very layered. Okay, so this is about the most fussy cutting I would ever do. But you know what? It was really relaxing. I really enjoyed it. And I thought, I'm going to do it again. So we're going to do it on a video for you. So let me show you how I did this, how I made this piece here. This is really the centerpiece of the design. I might change this up a little bit. And I've got another card to show you as well, which uses even more of the flowers, just to show you what you can do with the fabulous additional stamps that are in Free as a Bird. Because everybody's always drawn to the birds, and that's great, but you can do so much with these other ones. So let's get started. So the first thing I did was I stamped across the top here and across the bottom in Pool Party, and that just brings in these flowers. So just take the flower spray from the Hugs from Shelley kit, and I just popped it sort of randomly along the top of the card just to give some edge to that, and then I did the same at the bottom. And I always think that if you turn things around it gives them a different perspective when they come in. There we go, so it's not quite the same top and bottom, and I like that, and you can decide which one you want at the top and which one you want at the bottom. Quite like that. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so that's the stamping done for the base. And then, oh, I've got a bit of Pool Party on my fingers. Good job. That what you're going to do then is you're going to attach some pieces of designer series paper. Now I've got a smaller piece here than I did originally, or I've got the same original large piece here, but I quite like the smaller bit. So I think we're going to go with the smaller piece, and that covers up that splodge that I just put in the middle of the card, which is always handy. Don't know where that came from. So we'll pop that there, but I want to have this Calypso Coral flowers showing here. So we'll pop that on this way round. Bit of glue. There we go. And I thought this would be a really nice card to say thank you to somebody for doing your wedding flowers or your bridesmaids flowers, or doing, you know, something to do with a party, or just it's for somebody who's done something a bit special, I think, for you, or just somebody you really like. Either way is good. That's straight. Yeah, that's perfect. Good. So that's there. And then the next thing I did was I wrapped the ribbon around the layers. So I'm going to put this on this time I'm changing up the bottom layers. I'm making this a Calypso Coral base. No, a Calypso Coral matte and a Pool Party base. So this piece, as you know, is going to be 13.9 by 9.5, this Whisper White piece. And this is 6.5 by 9.5. Okay, and then we're going to pop that onto a Pool Party base. So the Calypso Coral piece is 14.4 by 10. So that's 14.4 by 10, and that just sits nicely onto your card base, which I should burnish with my bone folder. That's what this is for. A lot of people ask me what this is for. And it's basically just, I mean, look, it doesn't flap up anymore. It just gives you a nice crisp fold, which is always handy to have. Oh, the glue's coming apart both ends. That's not good. Okay, so pop this on. It's looking pretty. It looks different already, doesn't it, from the other one, just because you've switched over those bases. It's amazing how much of a difference it makes. I think this one sinks into the card more, and this one's sort of popping out from the card more, and that's literally just from changing over those two layers. It's really strange, but it's nice to know that you can do that and make a difference. You know, if you've done one card and you don't want to do it quite the same, just switch your base colours around, and it goes. It just gives a completely different view. And I've managed to do all of that and be talking to you, and I forgot to put on my ribbon. So never mind, we'll do ribbon in another way this time round. Maybe we'll do a knot or something. We'll have a piece of knotted ribbon, because I don't think I can get that in there now. Yeah, no worries. We'll just attach a piece of loose ribbon. That's okay. I just like the dots because it just softens that whole look. So we'll just, I don't know what we'll do for that yet. Let's just think about that for a bit, Pip. Okay, so in the meantime, let's get on with these flowers. So I've die cut out a small stitched circle, all right, and I have pre-prepped some of these so that you're not watching me colour all of these in. So I have got a few of the buds and the little flowers that we're going to need, but we are going to need some more, so I will be stamping some more. And we're going to need these little sort of leaf sprigs here, and they're not from a separate piece, they're from the big bird piece, so I'll show you that in a sec. Right, okay, so I've got everything out of my magic little box. I've kept this box, it was from last year's Share What You Love artisan something or other embellishment kit, artisan embellishment kit I think it was called, but I just love it. It's really handy. It's got our statement of the heart on the front, and yeah, I just use it to do stuff for my filming. So there we go. I just thought I'd share that with you. Right, so a piece of Whisper White cardstock is next, and what we're going to do is we're just going to ink up the bird, this bird stamp here, which is from the main set, but I really only want the flower at this end and these flowers at this end, so I'm literally just going to ink those up on those two ends. See that? Oh yeah, that shows really well on the camera actually. That's good. So we'll do that. There we go, and that will give me then enough space in the middle to put the other things that I want. So I want some leaves, so we're going to need 3 leaves. I'll do those. Now in that case I did them in green, but this case I'm going to do them in black. So on this one I did them in Mossy Meadow, but I think I'm going to do them in black and then colour them in and see how different it looks. That's again what I like about stamping. You can change it up pretty much every time you do it, and then you can see how it looks. So I've already stamped a couple of the small flowers, and I'm going to colour those in with the blends. I'm only going to show you what I'm doing on one of them, and then I'm going to colour the rest in, speed it up so that you don't have to sit here and watch me do that. So literally small circular motions for the small flowers with your nib end, okay, just to get the colour down quickly, And then a little bit of dark. This is Calypso Coral, just in case you were wondering. Although I think you've kind of figured that by now. Okay, and then we'll do, oops. Then we just go over that, blend that in a little bit. Gives a little bit more texture. And then for these ones, I'm not even going to use the dark one, because it's just as they're so tiny, it's not necessary. If you want to add some more colour, you just go back in with the light, and that can add in. And then the two greens that I'm using are the light and the dark, so it's the combo of Granny Apple Green. Okay, so I'll do this and you can watch in fast, speedy up. Okay, so now I've done those. Now what I'm going to do is just cut those out. So again, you don't need to see all this. I will just show you one so that you can see how I do it. So I try and take the scissors, keep the scissors as still as possible, and move the paper. Okay. When you feel like you've got too much to go, too much paper, then get rid of it. Because you can almost feel the resistance coming from the paper. It's weird, but you can. And you want to have least resistance when you're cutting out your flowers. There we go. All right, so I'm going to turn you off now and I'll be back soon. Right, I'm back. Here we go. So I've cut all those out. It took me about 5 minutes. So, you know, this isn't the fastest card, I will admit that. I need a few more flowers that I did before. Where have they gone? Where did they go? Nope. I put them on there and I couldn't see them. There we go. So now I'm just going to show you how I built up my flower. I put the leaves behind and look how different they look just by being coloured in. They almost look like they're a different stamp, but they're not. They're exactly the same. But it does show you just how different it can look. So those are going to go underneath. So before I do that, I'm going to start with the top layer. And I knew that I wanted, or I know that I want my large flower to just be off centre, because off centre always looks better. So then we're going to just decide where these pieces are going. So this is one of the pieces from the stem of the bird sitting on the branch, and this is the other one. So it gives that 3D look already, because these are smaller, so they look like they're further away. Then I've got a couple of these buds that will pop in under here, and they can sort of stand out, go a bit further out, whatever you fancy. And then I have a couple of these other flowers that maybe will pop. Could pop one underneath there, pop one over here. Could even pop one up over here if we wanted to. Depends on how crowded. You have to, you know, balance the crowding versus the amount of floral. Yeah, I think that's too much. Which is, I think, what I decided on this one in the end. I just went for 2. So once you've got your layout sussed, then you take the central one away, because that's layered on top of other things. And you're left with where your position is. So then it's just a question of gluing it down. So a bit of multi-purpose glue, gluing it down. You just sort of have to remember where you put it, and make sure that, you know, you can go back in and make sure that you're not covering anything up. A little bit of glue on the back of this one. Pop that one in there, I think, like that. And the good thing about using some glue is you do get that little bit of wriggle room. So I want them sort of not quite in a circle, because they wouldn't naturally sit in a circle, would they? They'd be a little bit here, there and everywhere. Whoops. Oh, now I've moved everything. So if you move everything like I just did, you go back, you put it back on, and you just check where your layers are. Don't panic about it. Okay, so I'm missing this piece. So maybe this piece can come out a bit further, actually. Yep, like that. And there's nothing wrong with changing your design as you go. There we go. Put that on there. Okay, so then we're going to pop these little flowers on, and for these I use the mini dimensionals because they're just the perfect size to do that. So pop one on there, pop one on there. We're going to put one under here. Oops. And then we're going to put one, I think, just over here by this one, like that. And then for this big flower we'll do the same, because I don't want it sticking out too much higher than the others. I'll put a couple on there. Keep it nice and firm. And you can ruffle the edges so that you can make it really sort of 3D. If you just use your nail, or if you haven't got a nail, you can use a bone folder or even your little pokey tool. Just ruffle those edges up. Work out which way around you want it to be, and then pop it on like that. There we go. So that's the front of the flower done. It's a little bit further over maybe than it should have been, but I don't mind, that's okay. I might actually, maybe I will stick that one in. There seems to be a hole there. I think this is okay on this side. Ooh, although that looks quite nice too. But I think there's this is a bit of a hole. Yeah, that looks better. So, you know, if you've got filler, if you do a couple of extras, you've always got a bit of filler. And then you can just pop that one in just under there to fill that hole. There we go. So we've got different levels, different depths, all that sort of stuff going on. Right, so now we've got that piece done. The next piece is to put the leaves on the back, and I've left them slightly longer than the edge of their what's the word? The end of their stem, because that's where I'm going to put the glue. There we go. So I'm just putting the glue on the stem just for now, and then we can decide later. So that's going to sit sort of there-ish. I think actually it sits better this, yeah, this way, like that. So we're going to pop these underneath to give some depth. I mean, you could even bring that one in sort of at the side, but it's going to go quite over the edge of the card if you do that. So I'll bring this one in, tuck this one in under here. There we go. You need to make sure it's not going to go right off the edge of the card. A bit of off the edge is good, but not right off the edge. There we go, like that. And then I think I'll put the other one down here. Yeah, because the sentiment's going to go... Ooh, this one needs to move. If you need to move it, you can move it. So, that's good. Like that. Actually, it just needs to come a bit more upright. Like that, that's better. And then we'll pop this one down here. Oh, no, this way around, but there we go. I'll glue that one right under there like that. Okay, so that is now going to sit like that. Now, personally, I do think there's a little bit of a gap just there. So the other thing that you can do, if you haven't got any more stamped out, is you could just cut some out from the papers as well. That's the other thing that you can do. Did I have any others? Have I used them all? I think I've used them all. I'll fill that one in later. So let's do that for now, and then we will add the ribbon. So I've decided that I think I'm going to tie a knot in it, just to give it a little bit of zhing. Okay, then the knot's going to sit on this side of this, so it's going to go like that, and the knot can come here, and then we'll just trim that piece down. So bring the knot over a little. There we go. Now for that we would use snail, but where is my snail? I can't find my snail, so don't look. This is my old. Still got some fast fuse on the go, which is quite handy. So don't look at that. There we go. So that's going over there. Chop that off at an angle. Chop that off straight. The good thing about this ribbon is it doesn't really fray or anything, so you can just add it as you fancy. There we go. So it's just going to sit behind that, like that. This is going to go up on big dimensionals, so it's got some lift over the ribbon and everything else. There we go. So that's that. That's got its little bit of ribbon sticking out. Then we're going to do this little thank you up here, and I just took the offcuts when I cut my pool party. But I don't know, maybe I should put on Calypso Coral this time. So when I cut my layers, these layers, it ended up with the right size. It's about 1/2 centimetre, whatever that is in. That U keeps coming a bit further down. I need to lift up. Oh no, it's done it again. Turn over. That's a bit better. No, I like that one. Okay, so now you've got your sentiments. Now what we can do is we can just chop those and decide which one we want. And I literally just chopped and chopped because it's going to sit on top. So we can have a thank you like that. It's quite nice. Or we can go with a pool party one. Do you know, I actually quite like the, I think we're going to go Calypso Coral this time. And for this one, I did a dimensional on the back, but just at one end, because the other end you're going to glue to your circle. So do that. And the large dimensionals will fit just for 1/2 centimetre. There we go. Like that. There you go. So that's those two. And I think I'll do the other card in another video, because otherwise you'll have been on here for over an hour. And we don't want to do that. That's a bit too long. So there you go. That's a No Bird Ballad card. Ta-da! And 2 versions of it, which, you know, it's really simple. All I did was just swap these pieces round. So, and I just changed up this leaves as well, and I like both of them, but they do both stand out a bit differently. And I know this doesn't stand out on the camera very well from the background, but when it's in your hand it really does. You can really see it because you can see all the layers. And I think, you know, if you're going to do something nice, you could make it into a birthday card, you could make it into a wedding anniversary card. It really is something that you could just, you know, you could take this layout, this design, and make it into anything you want to do. Just change this sentiment up or add another one down here. It's entirely up to you. So there you go. I hope you've enjoyed my No Bird Ballad, and you can get all of these items from my store. All the details are in the description below. Thank you so much for coming in and tuning in to queenpipcards.com TV. And yeah, I hope to see you again soon. So hit the subscribe button and I'll see you next time. Alrighty, take care for now. Thank you. Bye bye.